This is one of those risks most people underestimate until it happens to them. In the next few minutes, you will see exactly how it works, what the public breach record actually shows, and the simple steps that keep you safe. It is easy to assume ransomware only happens to hospitals and giant companies in the headlines. The quieter truth is that a great deal of it lands on ordinary people, small shops, and family computers, often by pure chance rather than because someone was singled out. Automated tools sweep for any door left open and lock whatever they find. So this is not about being important enough to attack. It is about making sure that if your files are ever held hostage, you already hold a spare set of keys. Ransomware is a kind of software that quietly scrambles your files so you can no longer open them, then shows a message demanding payment to unlock them. Your photos, documents, and work are still sitting on the machine, but they have been turned into gibberish that only the attacker's key can undo. The whole business model rests on one bet, that your only copy of those files is the one they just locked. Take that bet away, and their leverage over you very nearly disappears. Forget the idea of a genius breaking through a firewall. Most ransomware follows a dull, repeatable route. Someone opens a booby-trapped attachment or clicks a convincing link, or an attacker walks in using a login that leaked somewhere else. From there, it spreads quietly across whatever it can reach, and only at the very end does it lock everything at once. The comfort hidden in that routine is that there is a simple defensive step at almost every stage, long before the final lock ever clicks shut. This is the public record of known ransomware activity, drawn from years of cataloged cases. Do not read it as a list of unlucky victims. Read the sheer steadiness of it. What it quietly proves is that these attacks are not a rare bolt of bad luck that skips the careful. They are a constant feature of normal digital life, and these are only the cases that became public. Once you accept that this is routine, the goal shifts. You stop hoping to never be hit, and you start making sure a hit leads nowhere. Here is the single idea that defeats almost every ransomware demand: a backup the attacker cannot touch. If a clean copy of your important files lives somewhere separate, then a locked machine becomes an annoyance rather than a disaster. You wipe it, restore your files, and move on without paying anyone a cent. The old rule still holds up beautifully. Keep more than one copy, store them in more than one place, and keep at least one of them fully disconnected from your everyday computer. The detail that trips people up is that a backup left permanently plugged in can be locked right alongside everything else. Ransomware happily spreads to any drive it can see, including the external disk you back up to and cloud folders that sync automatically. That is why one copy should be genuinely offline, an external drive you connect only while backing up, then unplug and put away. It feels old-fashioned, and that is exactly why it works. A drive sitting in a drawer simply is not there to be attacked. When a ransom note appears, every instinct screams to just pay and make it stop. Pause on that. Paying is a gamble with someone who has already lied to you. There is no guarantee your files come back. The tools they hand over often work poorly, and paying quietly marks you as someone who pays. This is not about being brave. It is about knowing that if you have a clean backup, you hold the stronger hand, and the demand loses almost all its power over you. A growing trick makes this even trickier. After an attack, some people search online for help and land on services that promise to unlock files or negotiate for a fee, only for those to turn out to be the very criminals behind the lock, or others simply cashing in on panic. So be careful who you turn to in the chaos. Lean on people and organizations you can independently verify. Take your time, and treat any stranger who appears offering a fast, paid miracle with real suspicion. A surprising amount of ransomware walks in through flaws that were fixed months ago, on machines where the update was never installed. Every time you tap Update Later, you may be leaving a known door propped open for exactly this. Keeping your operating system, your browser, and your apps current is one of the least glamorous and most effective defenses there is. Turn on automatic updates where you can, so the doors quietly get bolted in the background without you having to remember a single thing. So many of these attacks begin with a single believable message. An email or text is dressed up to look like a delivery notice, an invoice, or an urgent alert, and it pushes you to open an attachment or click a link right now. That rush is the whole trick, because hurrying stops you from pausing to check. Slow down with anything unexpected, confirm who really sent it before you open anything, and remember that a message built to make you panic is the one most worth doubting. When ransomware arrives through a stolen password rather than an attachment, a second lock stops it cold. Two-factor authentication asks for an extra proof when someone logs in, usually a short code from an app on your phone. Even with your correct password in hand, an attacker is stopped at the threshold because they do not have your phone. Switch it on for your email first, since that account can reset almost everything else. Then add it to any service that reaches into your files or your money. If you ever do find your screen locked, panic is the real enemy, so it helps to have the order in mind ahead of time. Disconnect the machine from the internet and any drive so it cannot spread further. Do not pay on impulse. Report it to the proper authorities because they track these campaigns and sometimes hold the keys. Then, from a clean and separate backup, wipe the device and restore your files. A rehearsed plan turns a crisis into a bad afternoon. Let's set the risky way and the ready way side by side, because the gap between them has almost nothing to do with being technical. It comes down to a few small choices, made once and then repeated without much thought. On one side are the habits that turn a lockup into a genuine catastrophe. On the other are the habits that turn the very same attack into a shrug and a restore. None of these demand special skill. They just ask you to decide, one time, to set them up and let them quietly work. You do not have to armor everything tonight. You need a simple order, starting where it matters most. Set up a backup of the files you would hate to lose, and make sure one copy is a drive you unplug and store away. Turn on automatic updates. Add a second step to your email login. Give it a short session this week and a quick check now and then, and you will have quietly moved yourself from an easy victim to a genuinely hard one without becoming an expert in any of it. None of this asks you to be a specialist, and that is the whole point. Ransomware is common, automated, and largely indifferent to who you are, but the harm it can do to you is very much within your control. A backup they cannot reach, updates that close known doors, a pause before you click, and a second step on your key accounts. Those few things together diffuse nearly everything we have talked about. Set them up once, and they keep quietly guarding your files long after you have stopped thinking about them. That is how it works and how to stay ahead of it. The breach data is from Have I Been Pwned, all public. If this helped, share it with one person who reuses passwords and subscribe to Cyber Explainers to keep your digital life safe.